Hello, everybody. Mr. Hinnon here for our monthly Henstitute newsletter. I just thought I would do a quick little video to kind of go through everything. You're free to read over it. Pretty much the same kind of stuff that I usually put in there. So I start out just with a little positive learning, and the main thing I put on here was stay connected. We've got this Belleville community that is just so big. We've got over 2,400 students. We have over 100 teachers and staff, and sometimes it's just you can get lost in it. So I put on here there are so many things to stay connected with, whether it is sporting activities. We have all kinds of sports, and they've been doing great at being able to actually participate this year. We had our club rally at the beginning of the school year, so people can be introduced to all the clubs that there are here at East. So you can take a look at all of those. We also have our music and drama programs, so with band or choir, or if you want to get involved in the play. I went and saw the freshman sophomore one acts. It was awesome. It's just been great. And then probably the most fun this year so far with extracurricular activities has been homecoming. I had a great time helping set things up, going to see the football game, going to the actual dance, seeing all the students just having a good time, just kind of relaxing. And our central terrace was wonderful. The night was great weather. We couldn't have asked for anything better. So it was great to kind of see. With that in mind, my students, they're doing great in the class, but also in the lab. So I put in here that we've been enjoying some lab time. One of the things I think in physics is definitely you want to learn by watching me kind of go through the examples, working out problems, that type of stuff, but also just to try it out. So I try to come up with lab activities that you can actually do that with. So my physics 2 students, they got a chance to actually squirt some water guns. We tried to calculate the amount of pressure inside of the water gun when that happened. Recently, we've been doing some labs. I don't have any pictures of it, but where they were looking at the freezing and melting of water and using that to try to calculate what we call the latent heat of fusion. In other words, how much energy it takes to freeze water or melt it. My physics 1 have been doing a lot of video analysis. I'm going to do a lot of video analysis this year. So they've been taking videos of just some simple motion, just them walking or running. And then we also were looking at some free fall. So I got a picture here of one of the students actually taking a ball and dropping it and watching it fall. So we've been looking at that. That was kind of a lot of fun. So it's not just time in the actual physics lab, but just being out of the classroom or moving around a little bit. Sometimes it's in the classroom, sometimes it's in the hallway, sometimes it's in the physics lab, sometimes it's outside. All those places are places you can do physics. For the constructive feedback here, I put in here, since I use Google Classroom for basically everything. So I put my assignments on there. I give out announcements to the students. That's where I want them to submit everything. The only thing I don't use Google Classroom for are tests and quizzes. And it works great for me to post little videos there or other assignments. And especially if students happen to be gone for periods of time with quarantine or just out for some other activity, that's the place to look. So I put some information. This is actually something I posted last year of how do you go about trying to find, what are my due dates, what are my assignments, that type of stuff. Because I'm finding some students are still falling behind on things. Most of them stay pretty up to date, but if you happen to fall behind, you don't want to do that. And Google Classroom is the place to look. And my parents, my guardians, you also have the chance to be connected. You can't see their actual Google Classroom, but I did turn on that you can get summaries. And what that does is that sends out information of things that they're missing in all of their different classes, that the teacher has actually turned that on. So if you want that on, feel free to talk to your teachers with that. The coming week. So in Physics 1, we're going to be taking a quiz this week over free fall, vertical kinematics, and then move from that into two-dimensional kinematics. So we're going to start looking at projectile motion, things being launched, that type of stuff. So we've got another lab we're going to be doing where we're going to be tossing ball up and down to look at that vertical motion. It also leads into the projectile motion very nicely. And that's kind of the idea. And we'll start looking at that two-dimensional motion, how they act independent of each other. That's kind of a neat concept. In physics 2, we've started in on our unit on thermodynamics, which is basically what we're going to be covering the rest of this semester. So we started with chapter 12 on that, and we're going to be taking a test that's going to cover that information. And then we're going to move into how does heat get transferred from place to place. So we'll take some notes over conduction, convection, radiation, that type of thing. I also have a project where the students are going to be building basically something that can keep an object cold or hot as long as possible. Basically, they're going to make their own little thermos cup, their own little Yeti or Hydro Flask, whichever way you want to kind of talk about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of stuff they come up with. And then for the encouragement here, I just kind of threw in, this is, I'm a big fan of YouTube channel called Veritasium, and he had one a little while ago with 5 fun physics phenomena, and he performs them, and then he has another one where he actually explains them all, which they're just kind of fun just to play around with a little bit with physics. So hope you enjoyed this little example of physics in action. So this newsletter hopefully gives you everything you need. If you ever need to contact me, feel free. Take care.